inventors who transformed our world to the activists who changed our nation. Their stories shaped America. This February, KBLA Talk 1580 celebrates Black History Month with powerful conversations, untold stories, and voices that need to be heard. Join us all month long for special programming that honors the past while inspiring our future. Black History Month on KBLA Talk 1580. Our history, our voices, our time.
I'm Zoe Williams, the voice of reason. If your relationship is in trouble, I'm the dude to call. Has your soulmate become your cellmate? Does black love still exist? What are your bedroom turnoffs? Fantasies and fetishes. Financial infidelity. I'm dating a fat person. Are they worth the wait? Trust me, this gonna be crazy.
How about the heavy stuff?
The child wasn't his, and he still had to pay child support.
It's a very heated topic.
How was that right?
Mama's baby, daddy's maybe.
I just have so many questions I want to ask you.
I just like to kiss. Is there something wrong with that?
Damn.
He told me he had a vasectomy. I'm pregnant.
Betrayal has been committed.
Hit you with the bad pipes routine.
How does he maintain his humposity?
He likes it when it pinches my neck.
Why can't you open up, brother?
I'm a karate man. Karate man rules on the inside. They don't show their weaknesses.
Yeah.
How do you write women so well?
Zoe Williams,
Reason and accountability.
the voice of reason.
I work with this lovely woman who she had a very difficult childhood where she was neglected and witnessed a lot of physical abuse between her parents and her other elder brothers and sisters. She was never physically abused, but she was totally neglected. So her brain was developed in a void, nothing. No one comes, no one rescues, no one makes it better. So that's her attachment learning. And she had lots of trauma symptoms and she had PTSD and she had lots of flashbacks to memories of being neglected and abandoned and frightened. And we helped her she went to our Compassionate Resilience group, which is a 12-session group with other women to develop her self-compassion. And we use the group format mostly for developing self-compassion because it just lends itself very, very nicely to affiliation and connectedness. So having been through the Compassionate Resilience group, she then came in to my one-to-one therapy and had 16 sessions of trauma memory work. And first off, we kind of narrated the whole story. So we got the framework of the whole story, the roadmap. And then we focused in on the particular flashbacks and nightmares that she was suffering from. And with each flashback and nightmare, we systematically recalibrated the meaning by bringing in a compassionate perspective and a compassionate emotional felt sense using imagery. So an example of that was she had a memory of being left alone when she was about 5 or 6 and feeling very ashamed because she'd gone to school and at the end of the day the little children would sort of sit on the bench with their little rucksacks waiting for their parents to pick them up, but no one came for her and no one could get hold of her parents, and she was eventually actually taken into social care for the night because no one came. And she finds that a really shaming memory, really.
Man, we on fire tonight. That first hour flew. The Voice of Reason Live, KBLA Talk 1580. You know what it is. It's After Dark with Zoe Williams, 7 to 9 p.m. Always on fire, always with the cold-blooded topics, man. Tonight is no different. It be your own type. A deeper look at the Achilles heel of typism. And I don't give a damn what y'all think out there. I don't. A lot of people out there be like, it ain't that deep. Relationships ain't that deep. Why I got something to talk about every night that's on fire. If it ain't that deep, why we got fire every night? Why do we have hot lava up in here every night? because it's that deep. We've taken relationships for granted. Don't you know relationships can either be heaven or a hellish hospital for the soul? Did you hear what I said? It can either be heaven or a hellish hospital for your soul. JW from South Central Los Angeles. Get back on the line. 1-800-920-1580. We got somebody in here right now. I want to bring him in right now. The author of said topic tonight. She has so many great ideas and angles and perspectives. She has become my full-blown, full-blooded niece. Get up in here. Atala from Houston, Texas. What are your thoughts? What made you write this? What made you put this together? My goodness, what's going on?
I honestly don't know. It was like 3 a.m. and it was random firing of a bunch of downloads. And this, for whatever reason, just came up. But I think what I was kind of thinking along the lines was really that Achilles heel aspect, right? Because that's the weak point in your life that you know you have that you hide. Mm-hmm. So it's funny because people think that they may be able to hide what their Achilles heel is, but your relationship is always going to be the outpouring of what it is you try to disguise, right? So True made a comment in the live. He said something about like grandpas, like women dating grandpas, and I'm like, right, but what is up with grandpa? So I say all that to say, like, when you're talking about types, right, you can't really talk about types without addressing trauma. All of that is out there on the stage to see. And I think I even made a comment. I was saying that if you're thinking about the physical, if you're always going to physical, if your first thought when we said type was anything physical, I think that actually is a sign that there's some growth there, right? If someone asked you, well, what's your type? How would you describe them? What would you say?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, my type has always started with awareness, me personally. And I think it really started, I would say, I started to look for awareness. Now, and I'm going to break it into two sections. From my teens to my late 20s, it was aesthetics. It was, she got to be tall, mocha, chocolate, athletic. She got to be a chocolate sweaty candy bar. Oh Lord, she got to be Hershey's delicious. And, and here's the thing, I'm not, I have friends that, hey, I like the girl with the plump rump, or I like the girl with the beautiful top heavy. No, for me, proportion, athletic, track. Ooh, come here, track girl. Flojo, wait. I'm just saying. Yeah, see, so, teens up into the 20s and the late 20s. But when I get into my 30s, because, that was my preference, like beauty, like stunning, gorgeous beauty. That was my preference. But when I got into my 30s, I started to realize, like, I didn't understand myself. And, some of those relationships were confusing. They were baffling. Like, wait, what? I didn't have any answers for myself or this person. So, or these people, I should say. And I started to understand, like, okay, I need to discover why I like this particular type of person. Then I went to my mother, who was still alive at the time, and I was having conversations with her. And boy, listen, if we were on a different radio station that allowed for profanity, I could really tell you how she felt about it all. But I started to, ask about my history. I started asking about my dad and what he was on and what he was like. And she was explaining a lot of things. By the time I am 34, that's when it turns mental and psychological for me. I started asking questions like, who, what's the infrastructure of the family? And a lot of that happened because I was dating a young woman. She was actually older than me at the time. I was 24, she was 27, and she was a Laker girl. Whew. Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord. She was a little mocha chocolate, beautiful woman. My goodness. Mocha, just a little, ooh, Lord. Anyway, I'm sorry. I just went back. But I met her, and my ego was engaged. She was like, she asked what I do, and I was like, oh, yeah, I'm an executive, blah, blah, blah. And she was like, oh, well, I'm a Laker girl. And I was like, oh, that's cool. I said, is that all you do? She was like, no, I work in the legal, side. And what she ultimately does is she says, how old are you? I said, I'm 24. She was like, oh, you're a baby. This is where my ego came in. Like, oh, really? How old are you? She was like, I'm 27. I said, oh, well, this is a challenge now. I've got to take it down. I've got to do what I need to do, So I just stayed hella cool. And then we started hanging out, and it started getting real cool between her and I. But it was very superficial. And this is when I start getting into some deep, deep stuff. I went to a family party with these people. Pardon the long story, but I'm sorry. I just got to share. I went to a holiday season party with these people. She took me to meet her family, and her dad was there. I'm in the damn family library looking through the books, and her dad peeped me by myself in the library. And then he came in, he said, hey man, what you reading? I was like, oh man, I just noticed this book right here, blah, blah. He was like, oh, okay. So the very next time I go to visit her, Dad walks up to me before I could get to her little back house, because she had a little back house. Dad said, hey man, let me holler at you for a second. I said, oh Lord, I knew this was coming. We go in the house. He said, man, what you see in her? He said, I know she older than you. He was like, I know she older than you, man. He was like, she told me about you. He said, what you see in her? Do you see this girl? She be watching cartoons, Disney. You not on that. You different. He was like, listen, man, I know what it is. She is a little sexy girl. That's my daughter. I know what y'all about. It ain't nothing real. He said she not on your level. This is what he told me. And the next thing you know, at the time I had a bookstore in Altadena. Fortunately, that bookstore is still standing. But he started coming to my bookstore. And long after my relationship with the girl ended, me and the pops, we was friends until he died. He told me straight up. He said, man, she not on your level, sir. He said, man, he said, you're going to get tired of this in a minute. And he was right. So that's when I started to understand my type. Yes, please.
It's interesting. It's very interesting that you say this, because in knowing you, right, and us having developed this lovely mentorship, because honestly, that's really what this feels like. I feel like I'm being mentored by you, and I'm eternally grateful, seriously. But on the other side of this, I find that to be a commonality in the stories that you tell me with your relationships. And I find that interesting because when we don't have a true understanding of our full capabilities, you haven't fully actualized to the point where you're just look, I don't care, it is what it is, right? You will get comments like that. So it's interesting hearing you kind of chronicle your story, because it kind of shows your evolution. And this is why I say in our dating, we can't hide it. The person that you dated at 13 should not look like the person that you dated at 30.
Right.
But guess what we have going on? We got people that are continuing those same types into adulthood. So from middle school to high school, there is no change.
Wow.
College, no change. Adult, you still walking around talking about what somebody owe you with your hand out. Wow. Or you're seeking to manipulate, right, and actualize on what it is that people's desperation, right? So I say all that to say, when it comes to pain, right, pain is a beautiful tool because that's the appreciation for the pleasure and the good things that are to come if we do it right, if we do what we're supposed to do.
Right.
However, doing it right is not always convenient. Not only is it not convenient, but also you have to be able to stand to that ego and pride and fear or whatever it is that you may have that's causing you to choose your type. I wonder how many people have types based off of like abuse. Meaning, and I say that because I am one of those people. Like, for a long time growing up, my type was actually based on what I didn't want. So it's interesting to hear different perspectives of people speak about what it was that they did want and what they went after. Because for me, it was actually totally the opposite. And so I say that to say that getting to know yourself is probably the best thing that you can do before even addressing any of this.
That's 100% true.
Yes, and like I said, all of this physicality stuff, man. Like, listen, we are physical beings. I think there's nothing wrong with honestly having a physical preference, and I wanted to go ahead and outline that. I'm not saying that we should totally do away with, because it's natural to have certain types. For me, I feel like my type is more so aligned with my family, right, and what I've grown up around, and there's nothing wrong with that. I don't even think it's anything wrong with, as a woman, seeking men who are more like your father, because for me, that is one of my closest relationships in terms of a man who has shown that he can love me in an authentic way with no sexual component, no physical component. They are there simply to see you succeed. Right. And I could even say the same thing about you, right? So until you're able to really like form those types of relationships in a healthy way, I feel like this is going to be a little bit more difficult to navigate. So that's all I want to say. I don't want to take up too much time.
Come on, Attila, guess what you just did?
I brought Houston in the building.
Come on, this real radio, real conversation. If you want to join the discussion, all you got to do is call us at 1-800-920-1580. When we come forward, I'm going to South Central Los Angeles.
Reasons. The reasons that we're here, the reasons that we fear, our feelings won't disappear. You're listening to the Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
They can do anything they want to us. We might not be back. I might be in jail. I might be anywhere. But when I leave, you can remember I said with the last words on my lips, I am a revolutionary.
On Saturday, February 22nd, you are invited to A Night with the Panthers, a special fundraiser dedicated to supporting Black Panther veterans who now require assistance with essential needs such as medicine, food, and housing. These Black Panther veterans championed human rights, fed the hungry, educated the community, and stood as powerful symbols of resistance and resilience. Despite their incredible sacrifices, loving and serving the people did not come with retirement plans or financial security. So, now it's our time to honor their legacy and ensure that they are cared for with the dignity they deserve. You can help by attending and supporting A Night with the Panthers, Saturday, February 22nd, 6:30 p.m. to 10 p.m. at the Project 43 Team Post Center, 6841 Crenshaw Boulevard, Los Angeles. For more information, contact Black Panther Party Breakfast at gmail.com or call 707-554-2784. That's Black Panther Party Breakfast at gmail.com or call 707-554-2784. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black.
Lena Bloom for the Bail Project. Imagine you're stuck in a jail cell and you can't afford bail and someone offers you a way out. Just plead guilty and you can go home and kiss your kids goodnight. What do? What thousands have. You plead guilty whether you are or not. Cash bail makes poverty a crime. That's why the Bail Project helps those who can't afford it while fighting to end cash bail. Because freedom should be free.
Brought to you by the Ad Council.
You know you want some more. It's the Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
You can actually enjoy all manifestations of life, from the tree to the store display at Tiffany's, if you want. It's just life. You don't necessarily need to, at that stage, you don't need to have anything because you're already enjoying all that, and that is a wonderful feeling of abundance already. But you have to be in the background, there needs to be the connectedness. So there is a certain powerful field of stillness as you walk around Fifth Avenue looking at everything. You need to have a stronger connection on Fifth Avenue than you need in the middle of the forest. But it's not that you can't be in that place on Fifth Avenue, you can. So if you're walking out in the middle of a big city, of course you get all kinds of, your attention is pulled this way and that. And the staying rooted in that field so that you're not dependent on your environment to feel peaceful. If you're dependent on your environment to feel peaceful, then, I can't be peaceful here. I need to go somewhere else. Yes, I'm often mentioned, of course, that nature is helpful. It is wonderful to go out to nature. But if you are dependent on nature to become still and peaceful, then your life becomes restricted. And there is a lack of depth still. You're dependent on a certain environment. Fine, you love nature, that's beautiful. You love being in nature, it's wonderful, but you are then dependent on that, and you cannot take that state of aliveness into the city. So it requires greater depth and intensity, alertness, so that you can enjoy the aliveness.
No disrespect to Eckhart Tolle. He's done some amazing work. I'd love to have him on the radio show. I'd love to have him on, but I just got to keep it a buck. He's Krishnamurti light. He's like diet Krishnamurti. Still dope, still fly, got jewels. And I understood exactly what he was saying. And he was talking about the gravity of attachment again. If you're doing things that regulate your nervous system, that brings you peace, that brings you calm. And he's giving the example of, say, nature. You go out into nature, or you're by the ocean and it makes you feel good. Great. But the attachment to want to take that back to the city with you, right? It creates a dependency. And then where there's a dependency, there will be anxiety, right? When you are separate from the thing you rely on to bring you down. So he's saying you're misusing even nature because of whatever is unhealed or unreconciled within self. Do you see? That's what he's saying in that piece. And this is this is the question that I'm actually bringing to the forefront here by simply saying, if you have a type, was it born organically out of your understanding of who you are through your own self-authorship, or is it born out of what has yet to be reconciled within you? If it's born out of what has yet to be reconciled within you, what's going to happen eventually, right? You're going to attract the work in the form of a relationship. This is what the mirror of relationship actually means, right? Right? You get who you are. You get where you are consciously. Even the work of Thomas Bradburn and what's my guy up at UCLA? I forgot his name. I'll tell you his name. I think it's Thomas Bradburn. But even his work, Benjamin Carney is his name. Thomas Bradburn is a guy that works with him in the relationship department at UCLA. But Benjamin Carney's work talks about how we think we're so much better than our partner, or they're so much beneath us. But he says statistically, they're right within the same vibrational field that we're in, right? And I'm using vibrational field. That is not the terminology he used. But he's saying they're a percentage point not as smart as you, or 2 percentage points not as smart as you on the on a standardized IQ test, but they're relatively in the same space you're in. And what you find is in attachment theory, we're still mirroring each other, especially on the insecure side, whether it's avoidant, anxious, preoccupied, or the combination of the two, fearful, avoidant, or disorganized. So the whole type thing, if it's born out of this unhealed lens, man, you're actually calling in lessons that need to be reconciled from the inside out. You can get a new partner, throw them away, get a new partner, throw them away, get a new partner, throw them away. Getting the partner is not getting the job done. Listen, when I come forward, I'm going to South Central LA to talk to JW, and we're talking to Myron out of NYC, New York City, New York.
He's on fire tonight. It's the Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams, exclusively on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Tyreek Wynn with 4 things you should know with BIN News. Officials say 2 people remain hospitalized after Monday's plane crash in Toronto, Canada. 21 people were injured in the incident at Toronto Pearson Airport. The Education Department is telling universities it will cut funding if they continue with diversity, equity, and inclusion programs. The Trump administration has cracked down on DEI and says it considers these programs illegal. A historic black church has announced plans to cancel its Christmas program at the Kennedy Center. The Alfred Street Baptist Church in Alexandria, Virginia has posted a notice to its website saying the decision to cancel the annual performance came after prayerful consideration. Golden State Warriors superstar Stephen Curry, who is black, is the world's largest paid athlete. A new ranking from Sportico found that 36-year-old Curry earned nearly $154 million in 2024. I'm Tyreek Wynn on the Black Information Network, your home for Black News First.
FarmSafe 811 starts with you. Always call 811 and wait for any underground lines to be marked.
Always keep safety in the back of your mind. Just stay humble.
For more information, go to farmsafe811.org.
What you want to do, huh? KBLA Talk 1580 is thrilled to share that we have been named as a semi-finalist for the coveted American Climate Leadership Awards. honoring our climate work last year, we're also delighted to announce year 2 of our Climate Justice Crusade. This year's $2 million 12-month campaign will link and combat the relationship between climate change and poor health outcomes for African Americans and the poor. Climate inequities have taken a toll with multiple health triggers in the Black community, such as extreme heat and poor air quality, made worse by the recent wildfires. Our work to ensure climate justice and climate equity continues. In the coming weeks and months, you'll be hearing a lot more about our 2025 climate campaign. To learn more about our plans for this year and the companies and organizations supporting us, log on to our website at KBLA1580.com. Caring about the climate, caring about the community, changing the conversation. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 is committed to self-care and community well-being. Walk Good LA was formed in June 2020, inspired by the Black Lives Matter movement and the beginning stages of the COVID-19 pandemic. What began as a few minutes of breath work and yoga meditation before protests against police brutality turned into a safe space for the community to heal in hard times. The immensely positive response from the community transformed the momentum into a movement. Today, Walk Good LA is a Black and Brown-led community wellness organization based in Los Angeles. They provide spaces for healing through community yoga classes, guided meditations, hikes, run clubs, and other activations throughout Los Angeles that attract hundreds of members weekly. With the help of Propel and Michael B. Jordan, they now have a yoga and wellness studio in Los Angeles called the Walk Good Yard. To join their mailing list and connect with healing spaces, please visit walkgoodla.org. That's walkgoodla.org. Or find them on Instagram at walkgoodla. This is a community call to action, a community call to healing from KBLA Talk 1580.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With Venture X, earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy and turn everyday purchases into extraordinary trips. Plus, receive premium travel benefits like access to over 1,300 airport lounges where you just check in and chill out. Open up a world of possibilities with Capital One. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. Perfectly imperfect. Beating in rhythm to the world you've created. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Your life sounds pretty great. Don't let a buzz ruin it. Buzz driving is drunk driving. Don't drive buzzed. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
I'm Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I learned about atrial fibrillation the hard way. My symptoms would come and go. Shortness of breath, fatigue. I kept going. Then I got so lightheaded, I couldn't. My doctor said I have AFib, so I'm about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. Other symptoms, irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain can come and go, but the risk of stroke stays. If you have symptoms, tell a doctor. Visit notimetowait.com.
Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
I've just been feeling so sluggish lately. You should try the Metamucil 2-Week Challenge. The Metamucil 2-Week Challenge? Yeah, Metamucil 4-in-1 Fiber helps trap and remove the waste that weighs you down. Start your daily routine now, and in 2 weeks, you could be feeling great. Well, it's been 2 weeks. How you feeling? Lighter and feeling great.
If you want to feel lighter by promoting digestive health, sign up to take the 2-week challenge at Metamucil.com. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio. That's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. You're listening to the Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams. Only on KBLA Talk 1580.
find another who could match the love you're giving to me. So this is for the lover in you. This ring means I'll always be true. This is how we'll start loving you. This time it's gonna last forever. I trust you, yes I do. And girl, you're not the kind of guy could easily charm. 'Cause the meaning of love.
What would be an example or a difference between an intuitive extrovert and an intuitive introvert? Well, you have chosen a somewhat difficult case, because one of the most difficult types is the intuitive introvert. The intuitive extrovert, you find them all under spank. That is quite understandable. Yet the introvert is more difficult because he has intuitions as to the subjective factor, namely the inner world. And of course that is now very difficult to understand, because what he sees are most uncommon things, and he doesn't like to talk of them. If he's not a fool, because he would spoil his own game by telling what he sees, because people won't understand it.
Man, that's Carl Jung, man. Just listening to that. Do you know how many people really think I'm their type? I'm not your type. I'm not your type. I've been dealing with my whole adult life. I'm not your type. People will look at me and aggrandize certain things. They'll be like, oh, he's attractive. Oh, he's tall. Oh, he's intelligent. Oh, he has contextual understanding about relationships. Oh, he'll make a great... No, I won't. Because with all of this understanding, I still struggle. And the one thing I learned is we are not designed to be with struggle human beings, even though we're all inherently struggle-based beings. But do you understand? Disney didn't teach you how to be with a work in progress. Disney taught you a one-sided, lopsided, unrealistic breakdown. Happily ever after. That's what Disney taught you. He didn't teach you that relationships are the mirror of you. This is either, if you've done the work, relationships are heaven. Love is possible. Unconditional love. If you haven't done the work, relationship is a hospital, a hellish hospital for the soul. That's what it is. Now, if your type is coming out of your hellish relational hospital IV, your IV drip, your morphine, you're not seeing clearly. It's really that simple. Let's get our brother JW, South Central Los Angeles, is in the building. What are your thoughts on tonight's topic, my friend?
Hey, Zoe, yeah. Like I mentioned once before, the main reason why I listen to the show is so I can give some service and help to my family. In terms of my relatives as narcissistic. But anyway, let me change the subject. Sometimes I can listen to you and identify with myself, and it's like a confirmation that I have really arrived, or I am a genuine person. And what I mean by that, at the beginning of your topic, when you first came on, you made a reference to light-skinned women and what's your type. And you made a comment about, are you your type of someone like your mom or whatever? And it made me go back in time when I was a kid. I wanted to, I actually did get out of my mom's lap, went to this light-skinned woman's lap, and laid in her lap at church. Now, the reason why I said that is because I have, at that point as a child, what was appealing to me was a high yellow person. But pay attention. As I progressed as a young child, my preference was someone that was more closely to my complexion. But as I kept on progressing and getting older and learning and maturing, my preference, I had a flexibility, or I had a wide range, but still yet, I never wanted nobody that was too high yellow, like that woman when I was a child, or too dark. But, hear me out, my high school sweetheart was darker than me, but she was still appealing because of her characteristics and her qualities and etc. And when it comes to a heavyset woman, she had a complexion that was appealing, but I love her characteristics and all etc. and all the above. Mm-hmm. So that made me realize that I had a preference, and I heard psychologists say your preference could be something like your prejudice to something contrary to what you prefer. Well, I don't think you're prejudiced. At least I wasn't, because I had a wide range of flexibility. Mm-hmm. But anyway, moving forward, you know, bro, I'm losing train of thought, and I'm trying to gather my thoughts real quick because I know I'm on a short time frame.
Right.
But the thing is, your show, I'm going to fast forward to this. This speaks my thought. Mm-hmm. Your show, I hope it really advances to the point to where you can have some type of program or whatever you might want to call it, where you can match people that has some type of like-mindedness, that are going through the same path, and they're under construction, and they admit that they have flaws, and they accept themselves, and they're a work in progress, and they can meet like-minded people like them and come together. Because I'm at a point in my life where I would love to have a relationship again, but I'm being real cautious, and I'm learning from you, and I refuse to make the mistakes I made in the past.
Well, let me say this. Let me say this, J-Dub. Just go get a little therapy. You know you got Dr. Dr. Sunshine, Shalonda Crawford.
I listen to both of them, and you're right.
You got Dr. Jashana Johnson.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, listen, just trust me on this. Trust me. I've had.
I listen to them, bro.
But no, I don't mean, because I don't feel like we can get better by just listening. See, the conversations that I curate here, JW, and I'm not here to, tear down what you're saying. I'm just simply giving you a different perspective. The conversations that I curate.
You got to do the work and use the tools.
That's right. It's to spark you to go the next step. Do you see?
I heard you loud and clear.
Okay.
I received that.
So do me a favor, J-Dub, because I give a damn about you, man.
I'm listening.
Call one of them sisters. Reach out to one of them sisters and set up a session where you can work through some things. Would you do that for me?
Yes. And would you do this
No,
for me?
damn me. Do it for you.
Oh, okay. I agree with what you said.
Okay.
But I just want to put this thought in your mind.
There we go.
It would be wonderful if we had a platform where you can match people like I just stated, where they're going through something and they're like-minded. And I'm an achiever. I'm an overcomer. I would like to see someone like that, too, that still accept their flaws, et cetera, et cetera.
I got you, brother. And I'm going to look into it because I love you, too, man. Thank you. He brought South Central in the building. That's legendary J-Dub. Y'all know what it is when I come forward. Man, I'm going to the city so nice they had to name it twice. Let's get it.
Is it good to you? More Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams when we come forward.
To the 100 million people who owe the IRS money, this message is for you. We've helped tens of thousands of people close the door on their tax debt. So if you feel like you're stuck in a hole with IRS tax debt, then this is the easiest way to get a resolution quickly. To qualify for a no-pay or low-pay resolution, visit taxclosure.org to get free from the IRS once and for all.
To
keep your bank accounts, income, and assets secure. Tax closure is your same-day cure.
My mom has decided to learn to paint, and she's good.
My dad's now into creative cuisine, and I've already put on 6 pounds.
Learning new things comes with age.
My mom, she started forgetting my name and what we're talking about.
Forgetting well-known things doesn't. Memory loss may be a sign of Alzheimer's disease. Early detection gives you and your loved one time to plan for the future. Learn the warning signs of Alzheimer's at 10signs.org. Brought to you by the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
This is a story of the one. As a maintenance specialist for university housing, he knows college students can major in wear and tear. Plus, housing so many students doesn't leave a lot of room to house all the supplies he needs. That's where Grainger comes in. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast, dependable delivery, Grainger carries the quality products he needs so he doesn't have to. From a new door hinge to a whole new faucet. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated in the best hearing aids of 2024 by USA Today, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, just $189.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aids.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 500,000 happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
KBLA Talk 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. LA County's new Justice Care and Opportunities Department, or JCOD, is here to support justice-involved individuals and their families. The JCOD Support Center is now taking calls at 1-833-LACJCOD. That's 1-833-522-5263. Available 7 days a week from 6 a.m. to 11 p.m., the Support Center is your one-stop shop for re-entry issues and court support. They offer court reminders, connections to local services, transportation assistance for housing, court appearances, and childcare. The JCOD hotline provides personalized help to connect you with services that you need. And don't forget to check out justiceconnect.org for more information. Remember, it's free and available every day at 1-833-522-5263. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
You know you want some more. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
I gotta hear it. Now this is legendary. Y'all know my playlist is my co-host. When was the last time y'all got taken down 80s road like this, man? The Jones Girls, man. When I tell you, musical clarified butter. But I just saw Tony with Raphael Sadiq do their rendition of Shalimar's Over and Over. Come on, man. I gotta hear Over and Over before we get out. Shalimar, Over and Over. Now, to me, these girls were better than Sister Sledge. But Over and Over, man. Come on, Jerry Curl. I'm finna go buy a members only. I'm gonna come in here with a members only jacket. Come on, Jeffrey Daniels taught Michael Jackson the moonwalk. You got Jody Watley. Come on. Howard Hewitt was like, you know what? I'm gonna do it by myself. Hey. Come on. Solar Records. The Sound of Los Angeles. Solar Records, man. Oh, that's hey, and you know who's on this track with him? You got Andre Simone, who comes out of Minneapolis, who's down with Prince. Come on. This that Minneapolis, Los Angeles. Come on. Where my skates at? Hey. The voice of reason on fire tonight. Let me get my final caller in here. Myron from NYC. What up, young man? What are your thoughts on tonight's topic?
The topic is you, Zoe Williams. What's up?
What's happening, bro? What's going on?
Oh, man, I just want to tell you it's a pleasure speaking with you from New York City. You know it's cold out here right now.
I already know what it is. There's no cursing in here, though, Myron. We got to watch the profanity.
Yes.
No cursing. Got you. Go ahead, but finish.
Never won't happen with me.
Got you. Good,
Raised in Minnesota.
Hey, so you know
Born
what I'm
in
talking
Texas.
about. Come on.
And now I'm talking to you.
Come on. I
From
love
New
it.
York City.
Love it, brother.
And so with that being said, all I have to say is, Zoe, is, man, it's a pleasure speaking with you. Thank you for taking this call.
Mm-hmm.
And all I have to do is tell you, you got the relationship game down tight.
Ah, man, I'm trying, man. I got great mentors.
You're doing it.
Thank you, brother.
You're doing it.
Thank you.
No, man, everything you've been through, your whole history, the books,
Yeah.
everything that you've created, you created this energy that created this call. And I
Man.
just wanted to say thank you, man. Thank
Wow.
you for taking this call.
Man, I appreciate you, man. Thank you, Myron. You got a seat at the table. Call in anytime, man. That's an awesome caller, man. I appreciate the love, man. But I'm a student, man. I'm a student, and I got to stay a student for the rest of my life till I die. I got to stay a student. I got to stay a student of self, and I have to stay a student of others. Like I said, we start these conversations for you guys to really tap in, to take the baton and take it further, right? Because no one is an expert of you. You are the expert of you. Now, your classroom are your relationships, and the curriculum will be the work you have done or have yet to do, right? And all of that is mirroring your current state of consciousness. Tonight's topic, it be your own type. A deeper look at the Achilles heel of typism. My type, born out of what? In the realm of intimate relationships, many claim to know their type as if that preference alone could chart a course to lasting love. Oftentimes, it's just not true. Your blueprint is not a lasting, container for love to live in. It's just not. Because typically our blueprint is broken in some way, dysfunctional in some way. But just because it's broken doesn't mean we have to pathologize brokenness as something awkward or bad or wrong. It's just par for the course. Yet this belief risks transforming what should be a vibrant exploration of connection into a rigid blueprint. We don't want that. It's self-imposed romantic determinism. One must ask, does clinging to a particular type ultimately undermine the capacity for genuine growth, or might it merely echo unresolved wounds that distort the multifaceted nature of attraction? I thought you were a beautiful woman until your dismissive avoidance style came out, right? Attachment style, right? Or until your CPTSD came out. Or until your lack of emotional regulation came out, right? Or if, whatever else might be the issue, right? That came from early childhood. Do you see? This stuff has to be worked on internally. Your partner is just the question for the answer you carry within yourself. Empirical research in attachment theory teaches that early relational patterns imprint upon our neural circuitry, the brain, causing us or guiding us toward familiar but sometimes maladaptive dynamics. If an individual repeatedly seeks partners who resemble early attachment figures, one might witness the reenactment of trauma through a preference for familiar yet unfulfilling relationship dynamics. In this light, This type we cherish may emerge not from authentic desires, but from unresolved childhood hurts or ingrained social conditioning. Yesterday, we talked about many black women, especially of a particular generation, being derivative of a negative stereotype that has now been reintroduced and repopularized through social media and hip-hop music. And you know, people think that this isn't an important conversation to have. Listen, if society and your wounds got you on autopilot, you're wasting your life. The pursuit of a specific aesthetic or personality archetype can then transform into a neurological addiction to familiarity, wherein the brain craves predictable patterns rather than the vibrant, often unpredictable opportunities for deep, meaningful connection. Attachment scholars like Amir Levine and Annie Chen remind us that attraction does not derive solely from the physical or even the superficial. Instead, attraction weaves together emotional resonance, mental synchronicity, and spiritual alignment, right? In this integrated view, the law of attraction cannot serve as a license for self-sabotage. The rigid adherence to a type might yield repeated heartbreak, for it often reflects an unconscious allegiance to past pain. The truth emerges, becoming bitter, gaining knowledge, cultivating self-awareness, and healing redefines our internal blueprint. True transformation arises when one becomes open to partners who may not match a preconceived mold, yet can catalyze profound personal evolution. I started the conversation. It's really up to you to finish it. It really is. It's up to you to finish it. All right? We're doing this together or we're not doing it at all. I'm the voice of reason. I'll be back tomorrow with another barn burner. Deuces!
Everybody up and down.